Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Stryve Golf Podcast. Devin here. It's our 10th episode. We have some exciting things and a fun episode for you all tonight. Kind of a roundtable discussion. So we got Sean, we got Austin, we got Victor. We got the magical foursome here. So boys, how's it going?
Not all at once. I'm still trying to recover from the epic Saturday is for the boys event.
They were for the boys.
It was a great round. Loved it.
That was awesome. Didn't play very good, but had a great time.
Oh man. For those that don't know, you will soon come to find out we had ourselves quite the weekend. We had Austin and Sean come down, did a little a two-man game, the first ever, the inaugural two-man 2v2 Stryve golf match play. And it was full of good shots, bad shots, three putts, snap hooks, slices, all the above. So we're gonna recap that because that was super fun, super enjoyable for me. It was quite the stretch, but Sean did a good job of preparing me to go the full. It took 36 holes to determine. Well, I guess technically 35 holes to determine the winner. But an absolute pleasure. So. Boys, let's recap it. What were your thoughts? We'll just start, Victor, you're at the top left. So give us your recap on the weekend, my man.
Oh, it was quite the experience to have. I mean, Devin and I, we play multiple times every week and it's a good time, but I think a 2-on-2 is just a much better format. And so it was great. I think it just worked out for everybody's schedules to have 18 holes, refuel with a little bit of lunch there, and then 18 more. And honestly, the weather was great. Incredible weather for March in St. George, and it was 36 great holes.
Love it. Pierce?
Yeah, man.
Perspective.
It was awesome.
The wildling perspective.
Yeah, first of all, Sean picked me up at like 4:45. Yeah, 4:45 in the morning about at In-N-Out and American Fork, and we mobbed down in a Subaru and had a good conversation just about everything, and then we were really pumped to play some golf, and it was a good time. It was always good to come down to see you and play some golf at Bloomington. It just never gets old, man. It was a blast.
That was an early morning, a long day for you boys.
Oh yeah, I was tired.
This is Sean's. This is when he's rise and shine. He's peppy and primed up for that 4 a.m. wake up call.
Absolutely in my element there. It was a blast. It was kind of throwing away all family responsibilities for about 36 hours. Kind of a little throwback to high school days where wake up at the crack of dawn, literally play golf all day, and finish the night off watching college basketball, eating pizza, and hot tubbing.
In the hot tub, yeah.
And my wife is convinced I'm still a child, pretty much. She's like, you refuse to grow up, don't you?
All four of us.
Young forever, baby.
All four wives can concur there.
Before
we move any further, we got to say 4 shout outs to the 4 wives. Incredible.
Also have to shout out your parents, Devin, because
I just
absolutely hooking us up as always down
truly
there.
felt like I was back in middle school and high school calling for mommy and daddy, making us snacks and popcorn and all sorts. That's just typical Nona and Greg there. So no surprise.
They're just legendary, man. They're just great people.
Shout out to the mom and papa Porter, no doubt. They're amazing. So yeah, it was it really was a lot of fun. It was kind of a unique experience. Like I don't think any of us had really ever, obviously we play these 2-man matches all the time, and we have for quite some time now. And it just seems like it always, it's always a good match, no matter how you slice up teams. It's always a battle. Birdies are winning holes. It's just, we kind of rise to the level of our competition, of our playing, which makes it even more enjoyable. It's just like, man, this would be fun to actually, start filming it. But we realized real quick, we're just absolute noobs when it comes to recording, trying to play and just balance all that. Like, low key, it's a lot to handle. So not sure how this is all going to come out for the viewing perspective, but we sure had a lot of fun. But you had us just running around with our phones, trying to record every shot, trying to get as much as we can. And Sean was definitely the best at it, though. I admit there's times we were talking about it as we were approaching our shot, and I got out of the cart and forgot my phone. So he was doing a lot more than just filming and playing golf. He was doing a little babysitting as well. But
yeah, no, that I can't believe how hard it was to film. It just seems so simple. Like, oh, we'll film every shot. It'll come across perfect. We'll have this drawn out, nice match play event for everyone to see. And yeah, it might not be the case this first go around, but we should have some good clips. And it was tough because I just felt like I was playing so slow or whatever, right? Trying to like make sure I'm filming everything and then play golf. And then of course behind us, we've got this group of 4 ladies who've probably had that same tee time for the last 48 years or whatever. And if anything gets in the way of that, they're going to be upset. So that was an added element I hadn't planned on.
Yeah, Betty was running those 7 woods up on us every hole.
Just absolutely dialed.
They were dialed, man. But that definitely added.
Honestly, I feel like I should have just gone and filmed their match because it was probably a good one too. They were hitting it better than I was. That's for sure.
Oh no, it was. I thought it was good though. I thought the first, it was like the first 9 holes was a little bit of a kind of a little opening handshake. Just a lot of pars. I think Pierce won the first hole with a par on like the 3rd hole. He all bogeyed and Pierce hits like a 9 or 10 footer for par to just jar it to go up 1. But Victor, why don't you give us the scoop, man? Give us the total recap and give us give the people what they want. What was the result?
Yeah, so Pierce and I were on the team, and I mean the idea was we're going to play 18 with the teams that we had. Devin and I, since we play that course multiple times every week, we were not going to be teammates and have that home field advantage. And so Pierce and I paired up, and honestly, we played pretty solid. I know it's tough for folks up north to shake off some of the winter rust and get down and be in form after you and I had played multiple times that week already, and we were ready to go once again. And so, I mean, pushed a few holes. Pierce and I won one, and we did pretty good as a team. When one of us had a mess up hole where we had a bogey, the other one was making par to push it and keep it along. And so going through, and we got down, then we went back up, and then right at the end of that first 18 holes, it got squared up, and that's where it ended. So at 18 holes, it was all square. And decided, you know what, it's best to just run it back. Let's just call that the first half. And I got a big old burger. I think pretty much everybody else either had a burger or some really good lunch there at the clubhouse. And we decided, all right back out for another 18 holes, same teams.
Had to change my socks and my shoes though.
No, that's right. Wardrobe change did have to take place. And going back out was honestly a great match as well. I think it was, one up, exact same thing going into the last 9 holes for yourself and for Sean. And the birdie started dropping like crazy there towards on that front 9. And almost every hole, somebody was getting a birdie, or we even were pushing with birdies. And so the shots were certainly there, and a lot of birdies around. I would really want to know what, between the 4 of us, what our best ball score was, because we had a lot of birdies. We were well under par.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Pierce and I dug ourselves a little hole. We got down to 3 down, and we chipped away, got it back to 2, but then just ran out of holes, and it was a 2-up. Yeah, two up victory there at the end. So it came down to 35 holes of golf.
Yeah, it was.
I would say, I think between, like, if you took the best ball scores for each of the teams, I would guess it was probably under par, right? Like at least no worse than even.
Yeah.
Because at least in the the back nine of the first 18, there was birdies made on what, 7 of the 9 holes. So, and then it was pretty similar, like Victor was saying, round 2, where I don't know what it was. We struggled on the back nine a little bit to make birdies on that course, but then the front, once we made the turning up to the front nine, then birdies started flowing. But yeah, it's pretty impressive considering best ball, 2-man best ball under par that course, especially from the back tees. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Victor's back. I think Victor's back's hurting from carrying me. I was really pumped to be there and to play. And I played pretty well last time I was there with you, Devin. I was really excited. I got those new P770s. I was really looking forward to it, and just it wasn't striking the ball really well. I kept hitting everything toey, and I topped my 3 wood a few times. It was just kind of frustrating. But I watched Victor and you guys were just getting birdie after birdie, and Sean was hitting some insane shots as well. So you guys are all really good players, and it's really fun to watch. But yeah, as far as it goes for me and Victor, yeah, he single-handedly carried me. I had the occasional par, the little par putt to keep the match somewhat alive.
The clutch Pierce par is just a staple in your game. But I mean, that's just, a lot to do with the winter rust and, the new 3-wood you're trying to figure out, and, the 4 a.m. wake up call. It's not too
I was going to say, Pierce, you and Sean were coming down with new clubs you hadn't hit before. Sean literally took the plastic off of his driver on the first hole. And so
incredible. And striped it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you're hitting it well. And I feel like I'm starting to figure out my driver as well. And so I'm getting into mid-season form as you guys are just getting into spring training.
Yeah. I definitely felt, literally we played the day before, already saw the pins. So like we knew the spots. And so as we should have, Victor and I played pretty well, but again, we're in the peak come into March. So hate to see it, boys, but anyway, again, a lot of fun, but just going to be kind of one of the many, like, again, we've had so many fun matches, and like, doesn't matter the course. And again, the teams, it's always super good. It's always entertaining. Rarely, I got blitzed pretty bad by you, Pearson. I think it was Gavin was your teammate. I think it was me and you, Sean. We got absolutely blitzed that day. So that was a little bit more of a, it was a little more rare than common. Usually it's always really good. And this was too, 35 holes to determine. So
I want to touch, we got to remember when you and Gavin you guys teamed up at Bonneville, and it was me and Sean. I think you and Gavin, I think you guys birdied literally every hole in the course. It was like so frustrating.
That was wild. I'll never forget, Sean, take us through hole number 8. What happened on hole 8?
So the first 7 holes, absolute freight train. So Pierce and I at least 4 or 5 down after 7, because just birdie palooza from you two. Get to 8, and I had about 60 yards in. It's a pretty short par 4. 60 yards in, right rough, and I hit it, and it ends up going in for a 2. Right, so a nice hole out eagle. So I'm thinking, all right, maybe we might win a hole. But alas, right, when Devin drives the green and then rolls in the 25-foot eagle putt on top of my eagle, I couldn't even win with an eagle. So that pretty much summed up that day.
Again, more of a rarity. Rarely will see anything like that, but was quite enjoyable. But again, more to come. Matches down here, matches up north. So you two can have a little home field advantage there too. So more to come, but really honestly exciting to do it and to just kind of experiment on, adding another element to the game of golf, which is recording and then trying to make something of it. So we're in the process of that now. So stay tuned. But excited to release that and more to come. So anyway, a lot of fun. Couldn't have asked for a better weekend. And I was shot Sunday night, dude. I was done. And this morning I had, a 6:30 a.m., faculty demo with like 45 people. And that wake up call was pretty rough. I'll say that, but worth it. 100% worth it. So excited to do it again soon. All right. Anything else there? Or anything else you guys want to touch on or?
Yeah, I mean, what? Just pass it around. What would you say your favorite shot that you saw all weekend was? I think mine was Victor's 400-yard drive on 4 the second go around. That was anytime you see 400 on the little cart, 400 yards from tee and the guy's hitting his second shot. That's always memorable for
Pretty
me.
exciting.
Just unreal.
Man, there's a lot of shots to choose from. There were a lot of swings out there.
Another one, Devin, for me was the one you had on 5 yesterday, where you blocked your tee shot way right, and the pin was all the way back left. No angle, no landing spot. You couldn't even see the pin. You aimed at some chimney, and you hit it, and you're like, I have literally no idea, right? We thought we had no idea off contact where it was going to end up, and somehow lands in a spot the size of a dinner plate. And yeah, that was another good one.
Don't
That was
worry.
a really good shot.
Missed the putt. Don't worry about that.
Well, I mean, that
Missed the putt.
it's details.
Yeah, it's man, that's tough. Yeah, the drive from Victor was pretty incredible, or the hole right that preceded that, hole number 3.
Oh yeah, you put it on the front
green.
edge. That's right.
We I think we all made birdie, and Victor made it the most boring way ever. Just drive up to the fringe, chip it on, make the putt. It's a run the mill 3 for Victor. So
Goodness.
it's just hard to ignore those, man. Those are
Yeah,
pretty incredible.
That was a pretty fun hole because you'd missed your tee shot, so you had like 100 yards in.
No, I think I had more than that.
Just trying to give you credit. And you hit it to like 15 feet, so you had to make the putt. I had like 60 yards, and I almost jarred it. So that was a kick in. And then Victor, of course, puts it on the fringe. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't make birdie there. I just made a boring par.
Boring
Usually
pars won us a lot of holes.
I played in it.
The par on that hole is usually good. I've never seen 3 birdies on that hole. So
Yeah, you guys are unreal. Those were great birdies, all of them.
Birdie
That was
pin
a ni-
location.
that was a
I would
nice-
say my favorite shots of the day is when on hole number 2, par 3, we had the group in front of us decide to let us play through. And there's just like the pressure when a foursome lets you play through, and they were about our age. I would say.
That's
kind
another
of a younger
element.
crowd.
Yeah.
And they're letting us play through because we were just playing quick. I mean, we're waiting for them pretty much on every shot those first 9 holes, and they give us the wave through. We all get up there, and 100.
Which is also the worst time to let a group play through is on a par 3, right? So
it is true.
With
like,
water, with an
Yeah.
impossible bunker.
Water and bunkers and the front pin. That's kind of in a dangerous spot, honestly.
Mhm.
And just from that distance, we all get up there, and when someone plays through, they want to watch to see if you were worthy of the playthrough, or if it's going to be a mistake on their end. And all 4 of us just hit great tee shots. They were probably just like, "Wow, these guys are playing through." So playing from the tips,
Mhm.
all of us hit the green. 2 birdies drop in, and then 2 kick in pars, and it was just see you later, boys. And we never saw them after that.
Never saw him again.
Never looked back.
Yeah, that was incredible. Pierce's, just to set the tone, Pierce just makes that uphill just drainage, and that's what really got the birdie train going after that. But I think you may have birdied 1, Victor, but then going to 2, and Pierce lit that birdie up, and then it was the birdie train from there on that 9, which is the harder 9 in my opinion. So.
And you had to birdie it as well. You couldn't just let me just walk away with birdie.
Of course not.
Damn you.
Good stuff. Yeah, that was so those are mine. Anything else? Any other takeaways or anything we want to give? Got to give the people what they want,
I think one of my favorite shots of the whole weekend was actually on Sunday. It was one of Sean's shots. I believe I can't remember what hole it was. He hit a really good approach shot to like a foot, and it was a tap in. What hole was that again?
Well, these rounds are coming together.
Blurring. I know I stuffed it tied on 2 on Saturday.
And then 3, that was also Saturday.
Yes, 3 was Saturday too.
Can't remember.
And if
I guess I had my water par on hole 9. I hit my tee shot in the water, but then hit my third shot to like a foot to make par.
okay, I don't know.
That was the last hole. Yeah.
I just feel
water par.
I just feel like you had a lot of good approach shots, and they were always close. And then, of course, Devin, on what hole was that? Hole 13. He was all over the pin all weekend on that one. With that tough pin location, you made birdie twice there, didn't you?
Yeah, that was shocking. There was a couple holes on Saturday that I birdied both times. I got 16, 3, 4, maybe another one, but yeah, an 8. And
yeah,
8. That was another one, but yeah. Anyway, it was a good time. Absolutely a joy, and hopefully the listeners and the viewers will think it's just as enjoyable as us, because it was quite fun. So more to come. Absolutely more to come. So with that, though, with us playing golf pretty much the entire weekend, didn't leave a ton of room for viewing of much golf. And then with March Madness, after we were done, we mod back, got food, sat in the hot tub, and watched college ball. So not a lot of golf was viewed. But Sean, you want to take us to a quick recap on the Valspar?
Yeah. So pretty cool in that Sam Burns won the tournament again. So it's his second year in a row winning the tournament, which is pretty cool. You don't see that a whole lot, especially. I guess I took it for granted back when Tiger was doing it a lot. Like, oh, Tiger won the tournament again. But you don't really see it. Or haven't really seen it in the last couple of years. And it's Sam Burns' third win in the last year. I have to say he's certainly just another young up and coming superstar, really, right? There's just so many good players kind of in his age range. And so him and JT were playing in the second to last group on Sunday, and both played super solid. Like Sam Burns had the better front 9. He made a couple birdies and just a bunch of par saves. And then JT made his run on the back 9, and things got pretty tight. And then so Sam Burns, he gets into a playoff at 17 under, and then Davis Riley was playing in the final group on Sunday. His round was crazy too, because he ended up making a triple bogey on a par 5 on the front 9. He took an 8. Yeah. Somehow comes back from that and makes a birdie on the 210-yard par 3 number 17, which is one of the harder holes on the course. That gets him to 17 under, gets him into the playoff. Him and Sam Burns tie the first hole. Then they go to 16, right, for the second playoff hole. Mm-hmm. Sam Burns has himself it was like a 30-footer just off the green, and he rolls that in for birdie in the win. And it was pretty cool the way the ball went in. It kind of took a full circle around the hole and popped back in. So yeah, third win for Sam Burns. So he's actually going to make his Masters debut this year with 3 wins under his belt, which is pretty crazy. It's called a pretty quick rise to fame right there. Yeah, I think we can continue to expect big things from him. Like I said, there's so many good young players. It's just it's hard to imagine anyone going on the dominant run that we saw Tiger do. Right? There's just too many good players. You're gonna have a lot of guys that end up winning 5 to 10 times in their career, and it's going to be considered a really good career. There's just a lot of good players now, but yeah, it seems like Sam Burns is a pretty good dude, and he's got a good swing, and I have to say he's got to be one of the favorites for Augusta coming up. I know first-time players typically don't compete there, but just with how he's played the last year, you have to think that he's got to be one of the favorites.
Yeah. We saw Will Zalatoris did his first time around too. So yeah, you just, with the way guys are, the way they're hitting it now, that may not be, necessarily a prerequisite to win. So yeah, for sure. And we saw him, Victor. I don't know if you remember seeing him. He gave us a little tip of the cap on 18 at the CJ Cup. They were like one of the first groups that we saw when we were like just going up by the tee where they stopped us and they were coming through. And yeah, he seems like a good dude. And yeah, just another young, just absolute stud and is on a tear. Maybe he's, got something to prove after not being on the Ryder Cup and he's a little bit more motivated now, but whatever he's doing, it's working, obviously, because back-to-back wins there, that's pretty impressive. And yeah, kind of historically always like, they say it's a pretty difficult golf course, but yeah,
it was a surprisingly strong field this week too.
Yeah, after
players.
like a long week after the players, I was kind of shocked too looking at the field. As some really good players there. So did you guys get to watch anything, Victor or Pierce? Did you know you were driving home, but did you see any of that?
Yeah, I got to watch some of it and catch the end of it there. I was watching poor Mr. Davis that, I watched a heart-wrenching triple from him come on the par 5 and
all without a penalty stroke too. That's even
he decided to take it up
pro.
the other hole. Like I think it was like hole 8 that's adjacent.
So he pushed it so far left that the next shot was it's best to just like continue down the wrong hole in order to even get himself an angle, and then just put himself in tough spot right up against a tree. Had to take it unplayable.
Yeah.
And the way he just like scoots it across the green and then chips it back and it goes all the way off the other side of the green, misses it, and then just like tapping in an 8, which is like, oh man, it was. So Davis Riley, had an incredible week. Going to a playoff is great.
Yeah.
And taking second
back from that.
Man, if he could just take one of those strokes back from that triple, that makes the difference.
And I don't think anyone had anything worse than a double on any of the par 5s the whole week.
No, big fat snowman there on their 5th hole is not the way you want to play your Sunday final.
No, you hate to see that. And I think that was the whole hole 5, hole 6. It was pretty early on. It just so I mean that's tough. But shout out to him to kind of stick with it and come back. That birdie on 17 was awesome. That was like the closest proximity all day, and he knocked it tight and made the putt. And he was vibing, dude. He was jazzed after he hit that. I don't know much about him, honestly. I know he was on like the junior Ryder Cup team with Sam Burns, but outside of that, I don't know much about him. But that just proves how stacked the fields are now and how good these guys are. Cause I don't know anything about him, but that was,
I'm looking at the, I can't remember, like the shot link for him on that hole. And how with the shot link, they do like the aerial view of the golf hole and they do like the little circles and lines where the golf shots are. He is very far offline and he continues to get further and further offline with each shot before he finds his way back to the green. That's something it looks more like something you'd see from me. In fact, you did see this from me on Saturday on some of the holes, but usually not in a professional event.
Too bad it wasn't Pierce, because man, that last round we played, the dude managed to make par from everywhere.
Anywhere on the property.
You literally had like 9 straight pars of just like, it was just incredible. Just
Oh,
that was you stymied, dude. You just somehow you'd find a way to jar if it's a 4-footer or a 40-footer. If it's for par, he's making it.
Yeah, but if it's for birdie, I get chicken and I miss everything. So I don't get it. But man, that was fun, dude. It was just one of those rounds where I just had to grind because the ball striking still wasn't ideal. But it's golf for you. There's always ways to make score. It's crazy.
Yeah, new clubs, trying to figure that out. And we didn't even mention, like, when we were playing, just the wind, man. It stayed. It was amazing weather till the last, the hardest, through Amen Corner, which is a stretch, 5, 6, and 7 at Bloomington that are pretty tough, and especially with that wind direction. But managed to fight through it. So that was sick. But so obviously from us, not a ton of golf was watched. So just a really quick recap there with Valspar. But kind of moving forward to this upcoming week, which is 6, starts on Wednesday, a day earlier. There's a lot of golf that's going to be played this week, which is impressive. I think whoever goes to the championship round, they're going to play like 7 rounds right? Is that right? Am I doing the right math? Like they have to play like 7 rounds in 5 days to do it. Like
Yeah,
that's
7.
that's a lot of golf. Like,
Jeez.
so which is gonna be sick. So let's go there. Victor, you want to take us to the WGC match play?
Yeah, so this is at a beautiful course as far as viewing goes. I mean, I've never been to Austin, Texas. I'd love to get to Austin, Texas.
Great
Company
place.
I work.
Great place.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, it's a company I work for is based out of Austin. At some point, I'm sure I'll make my way down there. But a different format this week with instead of just straight up 4 days of stroke play, it is pairing off kind of like the World Cup would do, where in the World Cup, countries get paired off into these groups of 4 teams, and you have to play everybody and then get enough points in order to advance into like a playoff stage. Same thing here, except it's the rankings, the world golf rankings. And so they have everybody seated 16 different groups and four players per group. And you will play every single person in a match play. And you get so many points. I believe it's 3 for a win, 1 for a tie, just straight up tie after 18 holes, and then nothing for a loss. And after that, you will just advance and move on. And so, yeah, this starts on Wednesday. So it is group play for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Saturday is 36 holes. And then Sunday, I believe, is 36 again, where you have that take place. And so it is a lot of golf for the winners that'll be there. But I mean, this is a great change up for the tour, for the viewers. I love watching match play just because there's so much more strategy to it when it's just you and the person that you're playing against.
Yeah.
And you can try to play the game within the game as far as what club you want to hit off the tee, which pins you want to attack. And just knowing that when the person in front of you hits, if they make just the slightest mistake, like hit it into a bunker or something, you can change up your strategy really quickly in order to avoid doing something like that as well. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. I love and we kind of get to see the side of guys that I don't think we normally get to see with just the change up in format, which I absolutely love. And I mean, yeah, huge fan of match play. I mean, me and you, we play it every time we play pretty much. So I personally love match play, but yeah, I just think it shows a little bit more, competitiveness and fire within the players than we normally get. Unless you're Kevin Na, then it's not a fan. What he did last year to DJ, dude, just classic Kevin Na move. We can take that offline, but not a huge fan of him. But I do like it. It is interesting to see. Like I know Daniel Berger did kind of the same thing, like really wasn't conceding like any putts at all. And so that is kind of the game within the game. And, if I'm playing Will Zalatoris, I want to see 18 cups hit, man. I don't think I'm giving you anything after, seeing that yippee putting stroke. But yeah, I love that, especially Friday. That's something like I absolutely love, like those sudden death holes where, they're tied up to see who is going to advance and they just go out and just all of a sudden next on the tee is this, the sudden death playoff, which is sick. So I'm pumped for it. And I think this is a lot of fun to watch and a good change up in the schedule.
And I think too, it made it even better when they went to this pod system, because before, can't remember how many years it's been now since they made the change, but before it was strictly just a single elimination, top 64 players, March Madness style, where you lose once and you're out. But now they make it so everyone gets to play at least 2 matches, right? Or 3 matches. Sorry, I can't do math. I'm still hungover from Saturdays for the boys. So everyone gets to play the 3 days, and it makes for some pretty exciting those third matches when they're trying to decide the pod winner. A couple of those will inevitably go to sudden death, and so that makes for some pretty good viewing, and it's good too, right? If you don't have, say, a player like a John Rahm or someone that you'd really want to see kind of later on in the event, say they have an off day, their first round, it's nice that this format gives them a chance to still come back in advance. So it takes some of the kind of fluky randomness out of it. So I do feel like you can get a little better golf to it as the week progresses.
True. It's a good point. Yeah, I like that. So let's dive in, and we're just gonna do our kind of narrow it down. I mean, we could spend hours talking about going from the groups to the 16 to the quarters, but let's just go to the semis, just our final four, so to speak, and who we think is gonna win. Pierce, you wanna kick us off with the four dudes that you got and why?
Yeah. I chose these dudes because I think they're pretty capable of catching fire quick. One is Tony Finau. The other is Will Zalatoris. His putting strokes little iffy, but he's just a young buck and he's really good and he's gonna have a great career. I got Patrick Cantley and Sergio Garcia. Sergio, you never know what you're gonna get from him, but when he gets the flat stick rolling, man, he can be unbeatable.
Yeah, I totally. I mean, Sergio's got the deep experience, and last year, I mean, he had that hole in one, and he did pretty well last year as well. So those are sick. And you just gotta hope that whoever plays Will Zalatoris will just concede a lot of those putts, and so because the guy is a ball striking just fiend. So yeah, if he can avoid that. So then, who do you have in the final? Then who's your boil it down to your main winner?
My main winner is Patrick Cantley. I'm gonna go with old Patrick. The man can roll the rock. He's one of my favorite players. So gotta roll with the favorite.
Love it. Patty Ice, baby.
Yeah, I love it.
Let's go. Sick. Vic.
All right. My final four from my first bracket here, I will go with Mr. Taylor Gooch coming out and representing. This guy is up and coming. He has really started to progress as of late, and I think he has the ability to get out of his group and to advance and get to these final four. And then I also have Tommy Fleetwood, kind of my more of a dark horse pick, get in there and do a couple of upsets and ride along, get into that final four spot. And then my favorite here, this is who I think is simply going to win it all, is Mr. Xander Schauffele. Because I think he is ready to go ahead and get a big win here. And I mean, he's a gold medalist from this summer. Time to go ahead and get a big tournament like this going. And then my twin that I'll get to meet at some point, Mr. Victor Hovland, is going to be the other my final pick for the final four. So the championship would be Xander against Fleetwood.
Yeah, it's a safe pick. It goes Xander too. Solid. I like those. I like those a lot. Seems like, man, we're just waiting for Fleetwood to actually, to do something. It seems like he's a hot pick for us pretty much every
Match play's different, man. It's different.
Hey, it's true. It is probably just what the guy needs. So I like that. Sean, the winner from last week with Mr. Fitzpatrick with the top 10. Did he top 5?
Yeah, he backdoor top 5.
All right.
So not our best picking.
Not our
hey, top 5 still decent.
I think that's only the second time we haven't picked a winner, so not terrible. But
all right. So for my final four, I've got Scotty Scheffler, University of Texas grad, so I think he's got some familiarity with the course. And then I've got Justin Thomas, who has got several top 10s in his last 10 starts. He's seemingly right there. So I think he's played really well this last week, so I think he's got some nice momentum. And then John Rahm, I think he might be the best match play player in the world. We saw what he did at the Ryder Cup last fall, where he had literally half of Team Europe's points single-handedly. And then my fourth one, Colin Morikawa. He's really solid ball striker, pretty, which is super important in match play. Not going to get himself into a lot of trouble. And then for my championship matchup, I've got Scotty Scheffler going up against Justin Thomas, and I've got JT winning it all.
I mean, he's vibing, he's trending right now after last week and last few. So seems like a good pick for him. I don't know if like I haven't really looked on like historically like how these guys have done in this and in match play. It's kind of just like anecdotal of like, yeah, he does good in the Ryder Cup, but I don't know how any of these guys have done in this particular tournament as far as match play. But it's just that's what's so sick about match play is really anybody can beat anybody on any given day. So
yeah, that's like when I set out doing this, I'm like, okay, don't go chalk, don't go favorites, and I get to my final four and it's like, oh, 4 of the top 6 players in the world, real creative or whatever. Yeah.
Real original, idiot.
Come on, accountant, Mr. Numbers Man.
He's just crunching numbers, baby.
It's so hard for me to pick against, like, especially Rahm, Scheffler playing somewhere that he's played a ton of times.
Yeah.
And JT. Like, it's hard. If I'm just picking strictly like those guys up against anyone in the world, I feel like I got to go with the guys that I feel are hot. So
it's good. It's solid. I was struggling between those two, like between him and Patrick Cantlay. And I think Patrick Cantlay will pull it out. So I have Patrick Cantlay in there. And then it's just, we're going with kind of a St. Peter's vibe of Mr. Max Homa with a crazy upset. He's going to have to do some serious upsetting to get there. But so I got Max Homa and Patrick Cantlay. And then I also kind of went similar with Morikawa and Joaquin Niemann in my final four. I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel great about those picks. Honestly, I kind of wish I could redo it, but that's what I'm going with. So I have so then in my final four, and then I hate to be running off the trend with you, Pierce, but I have Patty Ice in the final against Colin Morikawa, and then I have Mr. Ice in his veins, putting just like you, Pierce.
Yeah.
Patrick Cantley's I feel like he's gonna get it done. The guy's he's just a grinder, and I just feel like he, in the setting of a match play, if like he just doesn't let your emotions get the best of you, and that can be to a lot of people's fault in match play. And I just don't think that really just nothing rattles him. So I'm gonna go with him. So we got 2 votes there.
I love it. He's rock solid. Like, he just doesn't seem to crack under pressure either. Just laser focused. Love it.
Yeah, he's just nothing's wrong with his game, and he puts the lights out. But it'll be fun. I'm honestly, I'm trying to. Was it Billy Horschel? Did he win it last year?
Yeah, I did.
He did. Okay.
Oh, this is awkward. I've got him losing in the first round. So.
You never know. It's anybody's game.
Yeah. Do you guys have any crazy upsets coming out of your pods? Trying to look through mine.
I mean,
there's
Max.
I have Keith Mitchell coming out of his, and he's the 62nd player in the world.
Wow.
So you don't even have Cantlay making it out of his group.
He's not getting out of his group. I learned this last year when I did this with my work, is like the favorites, good luck. Like Dustin was number 1 last year, and it was just, he's on fire. He's ready to get out. I think he was 1 and 2 in his group play. So the numbers do not matter. It just kind of comes between. Yeah. You have to look at the 4 players in there and just think, you know what, who's going to have the day?
It's a good pick. Yeah, mine's obviously I have Max Homa, but then the lowest ranked guy that I have getting out of the pause, I have Eric Van Rooyen, 55. He's gonna over Brooks Koepka, Shane Lowry, and HV3. So that's my lowest and the biggest upset.
I think. I mean, I didn't pick it, but I do think there's potential. Group 14, it's got Spieth, Scott, Justin Rose, and Keegan Bradley. I think there's a chance Bradley could get out of that grouping.
Stop that right now.
Spieth is on the struggle bus. Justin Rose hasn't been playing great, so I do think there's a chance there. What's another one that's I think
certainly hope not.
Crazy.
Hey, Bradley.
Yeah,
guy's the worst. Gives me anxiety watching him play golf, man.
I mean, I feel like group 3, anything could happen there. So you have DeChambeau, who, I mean, in and of itself, anything can happen week in and week out, but he hasn't played for a while. Taylor Gooch, Lee Westwood, and and
Richard Bland, dude,
who's-
the old
yeah,
guy from the U.S. Open. That would be sick.
So like Westwood is historically an awesome match play player, but he struggled a bit this year. Richard Bland is obviously older, but he's had some pretty good success kind of worldwide recently. Taylor Gooch has been hit or miss. Like, he's a good player. And then, I mean, I literally have no idea what you'll get from Bryson. So I think that pod's going to be a pretty fun one. What was the other good group? Hovland and Zalatoris, that's going to be a pretty good group. And then Sepp Straka's in that group too. He's been playing super well lately too. So
yeah,
I think that could be a pretty good group.
Yeah. So that's just what makes this so good. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, I like Harold Varner a lot. He's in the group with Brooks Koepka.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems to be getting more confident and just better every year. I feel like he could start going on a roll. Honestly, he's honestly, like, he's a wild card. It could go either way.
Yeah, he's kind of got that vibe to him, right? Like, he just kind of like a fighter, and he always does really well, like the first few rounds of tournaments, but
he does.
It does seem like he would be one that would just make an absolute tear for sure. So yeah, again, that's what makes this so sick. It's, you just don't know, and it's all, I mean, top guys in the world at a good course, and just a good switch up. I love match play. Can't get enough of it. I wish we would just standardize that more and do more match play, and just so much more enjoyable. But anyway, that's my opinion. Hot off the press though, I gotta get Sean's thoughts on his boy, Mr. Phil Mickelson, not playing in the Masters. That's official.
Yeah, that came down. We're recording this Monday. That came down today. I think Augusta released a list of past winners who will be attending the dinner but not playing. Or I don't even know if he's attending the dinner. But anyway, yeah, kind of crazy. He's not going to play. So the real question is was it a Phil decision, or was it Augusta saying, yeah, we don't want, you need to step
that bad
away
press out of here.
So yeah, that's pretty wild to see. I think it's been like 30 years or something since he's missed a Masters or something crazy like that. And we still have not heard that, still have not got the confirmation that Tiger is not playing. So of course, everyone's still speculating that he's going to make his return there. I don't see it, but I guess until someone comes out and says he's not going to be there, who knows? I saw something funny today. So Sam Burns and Tiger have the same odds to win the Masters currently right now. Vegas is just taking people's money, I'm sure.
Taking that real quick.
Yeah, just the sorry sapsters if you're dumping cash on Tiger. Odds that he has.
So you one of them?
Yeah, I'm all for it. No. Yeah, it'd be cool to see if Tiger played in it. You know, that'd be awesome. But I don't know. I heard a rumor that he's going to try for 2023, but yet again, I don't know how true all this is. So
yeah, I don't know.
It'd be cool though.
It's right around the corner.
Close. We're 3 weeks or so.
Yeah. It's here, man. It's going to come quick, and I got to put my early pick in for Cam Smith. I feel like he might do it this year, but anyway, I'm super excited for that. That's gonna come quick. We got a lot of good golf ahead of us and some really good tournaments. So it's a fun time of year for sure. Is that it, boys? Any other final thoughts? Final shout outs? As always, gotta open the floor to let y'all do some shout outs. I did the first shout out. Gotta shout out the four wonderful ladies in our lives that allowed us to go very hard this weekend. So shout out to them.
And still letting us come home.
Yeah, still letting us sleep under the roof. It's fantastic.
Still married.
Absolutely.
I mean, shout out Devin and Victor for bringing us down to Bloomington as always. Letting us into the club for a weekend. Pleasure. Always fun.
24840, baby. Oh, we got to bleep that out. Never mind. Bleep that
out. I likewise. Special shout out to you both for seriously, you guys are the best for hooking it up and you know, that second, third, or the second 18 and the first day, we got really hooked up. So thank you both. It was awesome.
Shout out Kristen in the golf shop.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's a rock star.
She's great. Victor, any shout outs from you, my guy?
Oh, shout out. I mean, hard to say right now. I mean, everything, a lot of things went good. The weather was good. The food was good. The pace of play was good. As soon as we passed through 4 guys that let us play through, that's a rare thing.
Yeah.
To have a foursome let another foursome go through on a Saturday. So
put their pride aside.
They felt that presence right up against them for the first 9 holes and didn't want it again. So yeah, I was shout out the hot tub, shout out all the snacks that Sean absolutely just destroyed. We got video evidence. This is it's fantastic. We all had our fair share, but
this is why I don't buy that stuff, because I have no self-control.
Incredible. So good.
We let it loose. Let it loose, baby.
Oh, fat boy.
Well, I went to 7 Brothers tonight. It was incredible.
Well, shout out to those. You know, it's no Blur Burger, but you know, it'll do.
Yeah, not quite as
suffice.
Good. It's pretty dang good.
I'd like to shout out also about half the population of Salt Lake City for also being down in St. George this weekend as well.
Of course. You freaking wildlings during your spring break there.
And we're
still here.
Followed them all back home as well, bumper to bumper. So just,
of course,
shout out everybody.
Take that Delta flight, my guy.
Next time.
All right. Well, I think that's good. And again, excited to put this all together and put it out for some video content, which is, again, it was a lot of fun and commitments to make it even better for the next. But it was fun for us. So appreciate all the love, the listens, the shout outs are great. We feel it. And again, we're having a blast. So we're going to continue that on. So, all right, boys. So we'll get this put together and get it out again. Hopefully sometime soon we'll get the match up and for your viewing pleasure. But until then, we'll do this again next week.
All right. Thanks everybody.
Y'all
Peace.
rock.
right.
Keep driving.